we're up to the start now of the Double Skull Challenge Cup. It is the United States of America, the Texas Rowing Center, up against Nottingham Rowing Club and the Tideway Scullers School.
Attention, go!
And a smooth start for the British crew on the right of our picture, up against the crew from Texas on the left, who are really going for it. It looks really lively. Those blades really whizzing backwards and forwards, with the lightweight rowers on the left from the United States. Won't be happy that they've come up against this heavier crew on a windy, strong day like this on the Henley course. They would have been hoping it was going to be a tailwind today. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, you can see a really significant difference in the size of these athletes up in the bow seat. Matthew Haywood, 111 kilos. George Bourne in the stroke seat, 88 kilos, against these two lightweights, as you called it, Greg, 72 kilos. Representing the United States of America, they've got the US colours on their blades, but from the Texas Rowing Center, Liu and Heese.
No, and the British double on the right are making a really strong move. They competed at the World Cup in Belgrade, and they will be looking to continue the journey through the rowing season internationally. And here we see them at the Henley course. Great for them to be able to really stamp some authority in the first quarter mile. As you see that lovely shot of the distance they've covered, we know how much further they've got to come. And both the two crews nicely on the stations. You can see those flags flapping. You see the crowds starting to come in. Crews on the bottom left, warming up, heading towards the start. There's an umpire's launch on the left there, heading towards the start. Everything quite nicely marshalled and controlled, with that buoy line on the left that you can see. Rowers are allowed to the right of that arrow. Other river traffic has to go to the left of that arrow. As we've got the timing flag on the left of your shot, it's about to drop the yellow flag when this double of Haywood and Bourne passes. The stewards will be stopping their watches now to take the barrier time, which now gets reported back. Everyone on the course will get to see the distance. I'm not sure if we're going to see number one on that progress marker signal on the left. It's just going to show the crew in lane 2, which is the Buckingham station, Haywood and Bourne, and that they are going to have a lead of more than 2 lengths over the lightweight crew from the United States from Texas on their right.
This crew from the Texas Rowing Center in the USA. They were the winners of the lightweight men's double Olympic trial. They had a good race yesterday against Leander. And in the bow seat, Jasper Liu at the World Cup 2 in Poznan. He came 5th in the lightweight men's double scull, and this is his first time racing at HRR. He grew up in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, it's a bit of a change in conditions from Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be pretty hot and dry to being here, where it's a pretty cool breeze on the Henley course today. And they'll be feeling all of that breeze on their backs, racing into this headwind against this pretty strong double from Great Britain, Haywood and Bourne. Just passing the halfway marker now, that's Forley. And this double from Great Britain. Both these two men competed together in the Under-23 World Championships, where they're in the Great Britain quad. They got a gold medal there in 2019. Now moving up to the senior team. As we say, raced in Belgrade in the World Cup, finished just outside the medals there. I'm sure they'll be looking to build on that as the season goes on. Really still laying it down here. Not much let up by the look of it, although they're in good control of the race.
And we would expect that a heavyweight crew is going to have some significant advantage in these really strong headwind conditions. It's certainly not always a given that heavyweights will beat lightweights, but certainly in these conditions, one would think that the heavier, stronger crew would have an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. The lightweights will be doing all they can, but we see Haywood and Bourne here. They're at 32 strokes a minute. They're able to just keep moving. Long distance per stroke. letting the boat run. You can see it's a bit more choppy today. You can see those blades going a little bit deeper than those white bands on the blades. They probably only really want to be putting the spoon in up to the white band. But the big man there, Matthew Haywood, as we said, 111 kilos, says in our program for his weight. He's a big, strong guy sitting in the bow seat, but moving very sympathetically to the boat, following George Bourne in front of him. So they're not doing an awful lot to slow it down. Tougher conditions we've got, as we've already said. The water a little bit calmer at this section of the course as they're coming into the last third or so. And yeah, just going along the top of it. The Americans, by contrast, are at 36 strokes a minute. They're trying to keep it tapping, as we see them here, trying to keep it moving, but they'll know that they've come up against a good crew, and in tough conditions, pretty hard for this double from Texas, from the United States, a mile into the race now, and knowing that barring something very, very dramatic happening, it's looking very good for their opposition, this crew, out at the head of the field.
So it's looking very much at this stage as though it will be the crew from Great Britain, Nottingham Rowing Club and the Tideway Scullers School, Matthew Haywood and George Bourne, who will be progressing through to tomorrow's final, but not giving up and throwing it all out there all the way down the track. It's Jasper Liu and Zach Heese from the United States of America.
Any heavyweight who's ever raced a lightweight will know they never give it up. And we've had many dramatic races on the Henley course, which have sometimes been turned around in front of the stewards' enclosure. But today, I don't think it's going to be one of those days. Nice, clean, efficient sculling from the British double. As we're seeing this. Trying to do as little as they can to slow the boat down, moving efficiently. I think the double from the United States will probably close this gap a little bit towards the line. No need for excess energy use for the British double at this time. Coming towards the progress board, normally about 10 strokes to the line. The progress board that provides information for the spectators in the grandstands, and it will show that this double has had a good start, established themselves and had a good lead throughout the course.
Very comfortable row down to the line now for the crew from Great Britain. The British men's double scull of Haywood and Bourne. Racing in their colours, the Nottingham Rowing Club and the Tideway Scullers School, taking the win over Jasper Liu and Zach Heese, rowing for the United States of America and the Texas Rowing Centre.
So congratulations passed from that double of Haywood and Bourne to Liu and Heese. They had a good scull, as we thought. The American double certainly weren't going to give it up. They stayed at 36 strokes a minute the whole way, but that British double had good control, and they will head off now to rest up and get ready for tomorrow.